Okay, people, we gotta talk. So, earlier in the week, I was invited somewhere where being alone is a little uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? Like, uncomfortable. Like, you want to be there as a couple. You don't want to always be alone. But I can't do that. That is done in my life. And that realization broke me for a while. And the realization that I wasn't going to go because I was going to be the only person there alone, the third wheel. Well, it was more than one couple. You get the idea, right? And it threw me into a bit of a tailspin this week. I gotta keep my shit together. That I'm really alone. And the longer that time goes on, that Jeff's gone and that part of my life, I want you to understand, I moved out of a home I loved. I moved out. I had to. It wasn't mine. It was the kids. It would absolutely belong to the kids. That is not the point. I kept my house because Jeff was quite the senior. He was much older than me. Not much, but enough that I kept my house in case. And I just paid the mortgage on an empty house. And I'm glad I did, because when he passed away, I got my stuff. I lost the person that I probably had the most fun with in my entire life. I lost my way of life, the things that I did, the way that I was. That all had to go away, and I had to become a different person. In my 50s, late 50s, and that wasn't easy. And I have been alone ever since. When I first moved back to my house, Coleman lived there. My middle son still lived there. And then he moved out with Forrest. And then it's just been me. And I do everything. Like, when you think about your partner or somebody else that lives in the house, like somebody else takes out the trash, or somebody else gets you a drink of water at night, or somebody else does something, answers a phone, or the door, or the dog, or anything. But that doesn't happen with me. I'm alone. And I would do anything to get Jeff back. Anything. And then I get this number yesterday. It says 1 in 500 Americans have died from COVID. And all I can think is, oh my God, how many me's are out there? How many of me is laying in bed at night needlessly? If I could have stopped what happened to Jeff with like a needle, I would have put it in my eye. And still people take the risk of their children and their husbands and wives, and I go, you don't want to live my life. My life is lonely. Tired. You don't want to be me. Nothing good about being a widow. Nothing. I don't even know how you could take the chance. And when I hear people say, well, you can die from the shot too. Okay, I just want you to understand, from last February, when we started giving out the shots to everyone, from last February to the end of August, 1,400 people had died from the shot. Yep, people died from the shot. They did. They had reactions. They were older. Whatever it was, they died from the shot. But at the same time, of those 1,400 people that died from the shot, that's that whole time frame, right? Every day in America, 1,700 deaths on average since that time. 1 in every 500 Americans have died from COVID. And all I can think of anymore is, I wish I had had the opportunity to save Jeff, to save him, because that's not what he died from. And so there was no shock that would have saved him. But I can't imagine anything that would have stopped me from like laying him down physically and shoving that shot in his arm if I had to, if it meant that I wouldn't have gone through what I went through for the last 6 years. Do you understand? Like 6 years of this, 6 years, and it's no better. And I live my life and I go through, but it's not the same. And there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that have lost a husband, a wife, a child, a sister, a brother. Like, what could possibly make you want to take the chance? 1,700 a day, 1,400 since February to the end of August. Yeah, I think my odds are with the shot. And you think either it's not going to happen to you, or that you're going to get some fucking party because you died for your patriot duty bullshit. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Do you know what they've done? Let me tell you. And this isn't one-sided. Like, if you think the bean counter, you know what a bean counter is? Okay, so if you don't, a bean counter, I taught you like you're going to answer me because I'm a little nuts. A bean counter is a person like a mathematician who usually works for insurance companies. And their job is to count how much it would cost for lawsuits against wrongful death suits on things like bad drugs that have been put out, food, all that. How much it would cost for that versus how much it would cost to take that product off the shelf. Okay? Bean counters. So bean counters say, well, yeah, we're gonna, this many people die, but in lawsuits, it should cost us this amount of money. And if we recall everything on the car, or whatever it is, it's going to cost us this amount of money. So we're going to go ahead and take the chance. It's exactly what they did with Republican constituents. They knew a measure of you would die that didn't take the shot, that they promoted. Don't take the shot. Don't trust the Dems, the evil libtards, like that really, and it's so stupid. They use things like, oh, well, there's aborted fetus cells in that. Really? Did you take an aspirin lately? Because there's aborted, that's one of those that needed aborted cells to be created. Z-Pack, you have a sinus infection, take a Z. Like, there's so much you don't know. And then you look at this, anyway, bean counters. So bean counters said to the Republican Party, in my opinion, that yes, going on this line of propaganda, and both sides, by the way, have propaganda, not just one, both. Going on this side of propaganda, what's going to happen is you are going to lose people. People will die because you are not promoting getting the shot. Again, please remember what I said in the beginning of this. You don't want to be me. You don't want to be the person who is alone every night. Be alone with your flag. You know what? Like, who gives a fuck? You won't give a fuck if somebody you truly love dies. You won't give a... I wouldn't have given a fuck. You could have fucking laid Donald Trump and Biden on top of one another and put a spike through both their hearts if it meant that I kept Jeff. Like, do you understand? So the bean counters come along and they say, well, you're going to lose constituents. You are. And that's like the thing. They're like, oh, Republicans wouldn't hurt their own people. Who would be left to vote for them? But they did a bean counter. And how many would we lose to COVID if we just said, you know, how many people that would vote for us would we lose to COVID if we just said, don't take the shot? And they didn't, it wasn't enough to worry about. And I want you, the woman like me, who loved her man and wants him back, I want you to remember that when you are laying there at night. They all say the same thing when they get so sick. They're like, I should have taken the shot. Please go take the shot. Go take the shot. Just take the shot, because kids are orphans. We now have these orphaned kids. There's some YouTube family that was like so determined not to get the shot. Both of them put out statements before they died. I know, I think just the husband. The wife died next to him at home. Your wife dies in your arms, in your bed. All right. I don't know what else to say other than you don't want to live the life I live, the solitary life I live, because I don't know how to put away the fact that I still love this guy. I was with him for so long. I don't know how to do it. And maybe I need a shrink, whatever. I don't know how. I don't know how. I don't know how to get it. I don't know how to even go out with anybody else, knowing how I still feel about him. It's insanity in my head. And what that makes for is empty weekends and all your friends with their significant others. And it's hard. And you don't want to do that. You want to be able to sit at night into your old age and watch TV and make fun of people on TV and just like have a good time and giggle in bed. And I can't do that. And my life is significantly more empty. Please get the shot. Don't be me. You don't want to be me. You don't. It's too hard.